Welcome everyone, it's your boy Eric of EMFC.
This is Derek of the extended EMFC channel.
And welcome to Wrestle Chat Wednesday Podcast. Oh my god, electric, and then you smoke in there. Appreciate it. It is time to play the game. Welcome to another week of us Bellends talking about wrestling. Minus one Belland.
Can we
There's no
say
Matt.
Bellad? Can we say Bellad on Twitch?
Yeah. Honestly, some people they don't even know what it is. So
Oh, okay. Well,
I think we can get away with it
in that case-
unless any British blokes are in here, then they'll know what Bellend means. But yeah, besides
Oh,
that,
in that case.
we'll find out. We're not canceled, so it looks like. No, kidding.
Actually, I don't think that these guys should be on Twitch anymore. They say Bellad a lot, and that means boop, boop, boop.
We say things worth. Anyways,
Yeah,
yeah, a lot of things happen wrestling. There's a lot of news coming up. Let's get into it. We'll do our review first. Appreciate everyone stopping in a little bit earlier. Well, earlier like right now, like when we start the stream, but technically later because we started late today.
I feel like such a boomer. I don't know how to do things on here.
We've been busy with work, guys. We've been busy. We were going to do it yesterday. We couldn't end up doing it. We barely ended up doing it today, but we're here. Again, Matt is still busy with work, so we'll probably see him next week. Pay-per-view week is coming up soon. I believe it's the week after. Is it next weekend?
Next weekend, yeah.
Ah? Interesting. Anyways, weekly recap. Let's go. Yes, sir.
What do we have for the recap? So what I
Oh, my bad.
remember.
Maybe I should pull it up. I had it set up
No.
yesterday, actually, now that I think of it.
I was gonna pull it up, and then I was just like, "Oh, Erica has it." The one
Yeah, I
thing I
forgot about that.
remember was they did the tag team matches to decide the new #1 contenders for the Bloodlines titles. The Motor City Machine Guns debuted on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
The DIY won their tag team title match. So this coming Friday, it's going to be Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY to determine who will be facing Tama Tonga and Tongaloa for the tag team championships.
Mm-hmm.
We had some stuff going on with Nia Jax. We got a welcomed appearance by Candice LeRae in a tag team match because Tiffany Stratton was sick.
Yeah, she got a cold or something, yeah.
We got a little vignette by Kevin Owens in regards to kind of his feelings towards Randy Orton and how he feels about his siding with things in regards to the Bloodline stuff. Or the Cody Rhodes stuff. Oh wow, these guys are really.
Get your tickets to WrestleMania. Sell your soul, guys. Vegas,
Oh,
Vegas,
yes,
Vegas, Vegas, Vegas. That's later rules. It just popped up here on SmackDown.
How could I forget? Jey Uso made a surprise appearance on SmackDown as well.
That was a very shocking and welcoming appearance because Solo comes in. He's like pretty much the main subject of SmackDown is that he wanted Roman to acknowledge him. And instead of Roman coming out, Jey Uso came out again. Monday Night Raw wrestler went to a Friday Night SmackDown. Shocking because they've been trying to separate them. He pretty much called it by the heart, be like, "You're my little brother. You're still my little brother. I don't care about Roman. If you want to end his rule, do it. But beat him. Don't just take it." But he's taking it all. And then Solo's like, "I'm not your little brother anymore. I'm your tribal chief." And then Jay's like, "If fucking Jacob Fatu keeps looking at him, he's gonna knock him out." And it's great. It was a great segment, great story. Roman Reigns came out to a Travis Scott. I think that was the same week, right? Yeah. Yes, it was. Yeah. He came out to a Travis Scott song that's not been released yet, and they acknowledged it too, which was great. And then Roman tried to finally, make up with Jey Uso. Said he was proud of him. The whole family's proud of him. Jay said none of that, which led to the last scene, which is right here, as you guys can see on the screen. Roman Reigns tried to calm down Solo. Did not work. Get his ass beat. So did Jimmy Uso. And that's pretty much the summary of SmackDown. Again,
that was pretty much SmackDown, yeah.
They're trying to promote a couple of things that are going to happen next week. Carmelo Hayes is finally going to face Andrade in their Game 7 kind of tournament match. The tag team championships qualifiers, the final round, is going to happen as well, as you mentioned earlier. I guess Randy wants to face LA Knight. I think they're probably going to have something next week. And of course, the Roman stuff before the pay-per-view. So we'll see how that ends up. On to Monday Night Raw. Should pop up here. And there it is. Monday Night Raw started off with a bang. Again, the main focus this time was Jey Uso defending the Intercontinental title against Braun Breaker, the former champion. Here comes, what's his name? Big Bronson Reed. He came out from the back and Seth started jumping him. They did a promo. They started destroying the tables and whatnot. And they fought the entire night. Rhea Ripley pretty much continued her feud with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, who also took on the Kabuki Warriors. Well, I guess kind of Kabuki Warriors, Damage Control, whatever. They took on Io, Sky, and Kairi Sane. So they're pretty much focused on that tag team division as well. But something special happened afterwards. So the match ended in DQ. Rhea Ripley obviously destroyed Dominic Mysterio in there. But then backstage, Io Sky and Kairi Sane try to talk to the GM. GM says, like, yeah, I'll figure it out. Carlito walks in because he was supposed to make a match for Dominic Mysterio for next week with the former world champion. And he said something along the lines of he needs to learn a language of a different country to the Japanese women who are not from that country.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. Apparently, a lot of people didn't like it. I hope they make that a joke next week, where they bury Carlito alive and then they maybe move on from that. I'm not sure. Yeah, not much besides that. The men's tag team tournament as well, not really that important. You already knew AOP was gonna lose. They lost to New Day. LWO also won as well. And Uncle Howdy came back with the Wyatt Six, but I thought it was going to be more smoke and mirrors and all that stuff, but it just seemed like they just don't even wear the masks anymore, which I thought was kind of lame, but whatever. It was okay. I like when the lights are flickering and stuff, but whatever. And yeah, the main event, Braun Breaker versus Jey Uso. Pretty good fight as always. Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu bought tickets. Get your tickets back or on the barricade or whatever. And then they jumped over the barricade. I guess supposedly they're supposed to help Jey Uso, but they actually cost him the Intercontinental title. And that's it. Braun Breaker's champion. These guys are smiling. Continues their feud. Derek, what was your favorite part of both shows? And what'd you think?
I would say SmackDown, probably the Bloodline stuff. Pretty much like the main thing I'm like invested in on SmackDown. So seeing just the first interaction between Jay and Roman and Jimmy since like he left was pretty interesting. Kind of seeing where that was gonna go, and then like leaning towards the end of the night because I think I even said like last week I was like, oh, like Jay's probably gonna get involved here. Jay's probably gonna get involved here, and then nothing happened. Roman and Jimmy just got beat up to end the show, and I was kind of surprised, but I was like, all right, you know what? This is a good thing. And then Monday Night Raw. What was my favorite part of Monday Night Raw? Honestly, the Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, the other Braun, Bronson Reed, was probably just great because it was just like. It was just on site. Like literally anytime there was a segment between Seth and Bronson Reed.
Big Braun.
There's too many Brons on the roster.
Bronson Reed.
There's too many Brons on the roster. But like anytime there was any segment with them, like it was just a fight. Like it would be like before anyone even had a chance to talk, someone would jump somebody and it would just be like a whole like brawl and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. It was pretty funny. A lot of people have been kind of mentioning this, and I've been noticing it too. Like Seth Rollins has like a different demeanor now. He's not like the jovial like guy. Like he's he's down for business now.
He wants
So
to fight, wants smoke. He's not that little Joker character. I think
yeah,
Matt was the one who mentioned it either last week or the week before. He said that he's been saying that he doesn't want the Seth Rollins character to be like that anymore, but
yeah,
it's been more noticeable ever since he came back. He's trying to
yeah.
attack. Yeah, makes sense.
So I would say that was probably my highlight. The Jey Uso stuff, like I think we all knew that it was going to end up like that. The match was good. The result was relatively predictable, but still, Braun Breaker is the Intercontinental Champion once again, and Jey Uso has lost due to the bloodline. So,
And I called it. Everyone was really hyped when Jey Uso won the Intercontinental title.
yeah.
I mean, it's finally the first time I've seen in a while that a face is actually so over, and people want to see him every week. And he's carrying the title, and he's carrying it solid because the last couple of champions that were there were pretty much heels, and that's just Gunther, really. Gunther, Braun Breaker. Obviously, Sami Zayn's reign was very boring until the whole Braun Breaker stuff, but Seth Rollins' world title reign, Cody Rhodes' kind of WWE title reign right now, right? It's about time that like a face comes out. It kind of reminds me of like, I guess maybe I was gonna say maybe like The Rock or Stone Cold back in the day where they were like faces and everyone wanted to see them, title or not on them, kind of thing. Jey Uso has finally like, reached that point where he's a big face and people are behind him and they're not turning on him, right? But Braun Breaker losing it, people were also kind of upset too because it was early. But what did I say, Derek? Play back the footage. I said that Jay was gonna win, but Braun Breaker was gonna get it right back. He's just only gonna have it momentarily. And what happened? It did. Everyone's happy. Braun Breaker will return back to that dominant champion. Jey Uso can continue fighting his family until Braun Breaker's ready for the world title. Because I'm pretty sure Jey Uso will probably win it back for the rubber match. My prediction.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And that's the review. Boop. On to the next. What do you want to start with first? There is a lot of things that happened this week. They're in the sheets and the grain of salt. Which one would you like to start first? Because I know you made a list.
I made a list. I am prepared. We'll start with the sheets first. I'll take on Compare's
responsibility.
Yep.
All right, let's play it.
Let's get lost in the sheets.
Yeah, this is Matt's dirty sheets where we get make the sheets dirty and we nut up. Even though I did my laundry today, so my sheets are no longer dirty. All right, let's get into it. All right, so first thing on the list, Carlito backstage heat. Let's talk about it. So, this whole week there has been a lot of talk about Carlito's line on Monday Night Raw, how it was not scripted, how it was unexpected. There was at least one person within the WWE brass who had said that it was not approved, it wasn't scripted, and a lot of people are upset with what he said. For people who do not know, when Damage Control came into Adam Pearce's office, basically requesting a match, Carlito came in and said that he needs to learn Chinese when Kairi Sane and Io Sky are from Japan, which was considered to be racist and whatnot, and a lot of people are calling for the cancellation of Carlito as a result. Apparently Io Sky did not find any offense to it, saying that it actually more or less like added on to his character of just being a moron
and being like lost and confused. I mean, I guess it makes sense if they kind of obviously they're gonna say it wasn't scripted, but even if it was, I know. Okay, one, it's not a good thing to say. I immediately, instantly noticed it, and I wrote it to you guys. I was like, did he just say what I think he just said? And I know, especially Io Sky, she's had that issue before live on TV where someone said, go back to China or whatever. And she's like, I'm from Japan. You know what I mean? Yeah. So obviously it's not a good situation to ever be in.
It's one of those things where being a person of color, both of us being people of color, it's very often that you will have other people from different cultures who may say things and not necessarily understand the gravity of what they say, or may not understand the difference between things because they're not from there. I think again, it's one of those things where it's really in the discretion of the person who it was targeted towards. So I find, and I've talked about this before, when you have a number of people who go online and they say their things and they say, "Oh, well, that was offensive. Like, how dare he say that?" And meanwhile, they're like from Europe, and it's like one of those things where it's like, I understand. And it's one of those things where it absolutely could be offensive, but it's really up to the person who was targeted towards to really take offense to it. And we have the luxury to be able to say, you know what, like this was something that was said out of ignorance
Mm-hmm.
versus like this is something that was meant to be said out of just like straight harm. Carlito like works for the company. He obviously has his coworkers. I'm sure that like he realized that he said something stupid and probably apologized. It's one of those things where it's like, again, is that something you want to be pushing forward going forward? Absolutely not. But there's a difference between saying something and being just completely oblivious to the idea and saying something because you're an idiot and are just like, you know, have no respect kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I has went on Twitter. I said like, "Yeah, this guy's gonna get fired" and stuff like that. And from a PR perspective, I can see a lot of people be like, "Oh my god, this is gonna make us look horrible." But at the end of the day, it's really up to EO and Kyrie to decide whether or not it's something that they felt really was demeaning, or if it was something that was just kind of like whatever. It's not that serious. Like, let's just move forward.
I can
To all.
I can also put it this way, like from this perspective, I mean, it's not okay. You shouldn't have done it, but at the same
No.
time, I understand what you're probably trying to go for. If that's what you're trying to go for, like this dumb, like idiotic character, because the scene before was in the Judgment Day house, and Raquel Rodriguez is like, "What do you do here?" And he's like, "I'm the problem fixer or whatever," and it's like, "I keep it cool," and then everyone's like, "No, like." What is your actual job here? Like you don't do anything, you don't contribute. So he's like, here, I'll fix it. I'll make Dom like a world title claim for like the world title match, right? He was the first person to be laughing at Dom
Mhm.
to even consider himself like to fight for the world title. He's like, oh no, I can fix it. And he changed his tune, right? And now he
Right.
did the same thing in that segment where he's like pretty much claiming that he's the idiot. He's like the fixer or whatever. Um, I think honestly, the best thing they would do at this situation is they have a segment next week where Carlito comes out. I don't know, he's backstage or maybe he's talking to a GM or he's talking to Judgment Day, and then Io, Sky, and Kairi Sane come out. They probably roast him. They call me actually idiot. We're from Japan, and then walk away. I think it would save face on both ends because probably Carlito probably apologized. He maybe did the intent of like making it like he's an idiot or like as a joke, but at the same time, I think that's the best way to redeem it to make Kyrie and Io a little bit stronger and also continue his idiotic character. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
it would save both reality issue and like wrestling issue at the same time.
Yeah, for me, like I even feel like the best thing you could do is just kind of move forward and not even like really
Oh, actually not
mention it.
mention it? Okay.
Yeah, well, because like okay, so I think what the problem here is that like because WWE was very quick to say like this wasn't us, right? So the issue here isn't necessarily the fact that like Carlito said it. It's more so about the fact that like there's the idea that like it was written in. So it was a number of people who are probably non people of color who thought this was a good idea to write in, and people are now like, well, is WWE racist for coming up with that line, or was that just Carlito just saying whatever, whatever? And if it was just Carlito, then I feel like people wouldn't really like harp on it as much. But I think it's again going back to PR, going back to the fact that it's just like it makes the writers and Triple H look bad because it's like, well, did they sit around a table and write the script and say, you know, it'd be really funny, like if Carlito called them Chinese kind of thing, right? And that's different versus like Carlito just saying like, oh, this is and this, right? So I don't know. I feel like they could. If they try to write it into a segment and make it seem like, oh, like this is what it is kind of thing, then more people are gonna be like, oh, well, this is their way of trying to do damage control, whatever kind of thing. No pun intended. Um, versus like just being like, yeah, you know what, like he did this, whatever, let's just move forward. Like this is Like, again, like, do people really care about this, or are people just really trying to make this into a bigger thing because that's what they do online, kind of thing, right? So we'll see. Like, Carlito's not an influential character enough that like whatever he does is really going to have a huge impact, right? People are just trying to pick apart this because it's like something that they notice, or like, oh, how dare you? Like, we're so offended, kind of stuff, right? So, so yeah,
I still feel that they're probably gonna mention it at least, but like,
yeah,
honestly, regardless, I think as you said, I think they're gonna move forward from it. I think it was just an honest, I guess, a mistake or whatever, and they're probably gonna just move past it, because if Carlito and Io Sky and Kairi Sane are fine with it, whatever the outcome is, if they mention it again or if they don't mention it again, and they continue or don't continue that little storyline, because I guess they could, right? Because Io Sky and Kairi Sane both fought Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, and they mentioned that we are former tag team champions. We want those tag team titles too. So potentially that could also be a rivalry that can move forward. Or if she wants to defend the world title to someone who's not Rhea Ripley, that could also be a possibility. So whatever they do, I think they'll end up cooking. But yep, I guess that's a good point. That was the first one of the sheets. No, what's the next one?
All right, yes, the next one that we have on the sheets, Elimination Chamber 2025. So there's been a lot of talk and speculation in regards to the location of Elimination Chamber. It was considered to be UK bound. There was a lot of talk and back and forth going in regards to them having a pay-per-view show. Apparently, and we had talked about this in previous weeks, the UK is trying to have something bigger, potentially Super Bowl, potentially a bigger wrestling event. They don't want to do Elimination Chamber, so apparently talks have cooled down. This is, again, something that you can take with a grain of salt, but apparently, for what we have read,
where's it going? Where's it going?
There is a potential that Elimination Chamber 2025 could be coming to Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Yes, sir. Another one. We're so back. We're so back, ladies and gentlemen. Because, of course, if you guys always see the podcast, we did go to a couple pay-per-view events. Of course, every time it comes around here at the north of the border, or even close to the border. We went to SummerSlam last year. We went to Elimination Chamber last year. This year, we went to Money in the Bank. Again, it was in Montreal, Detroit, and Toronto. And now they're back in Toronto. We're back.
And we will be there.
We will be there.
Because why not? Why would we not be there? It's
the road to WrestleMania.
Road to WrestleMania. A lot of implications. It's in our backyard because we're from Hamilton. And so we will be there. So if this is true, then we are very much looking forward to it. I expect an announcement in the coming months, whether or not this is actually a thing or not. But very interesting news in regards to that.
Honestly, if we're gonna buy tickets, I'm actually willing to spend extra money to sit in the middle and not on the side, because I feel like every wrestling event we've been to, we've either been like close to the ramp, like underneath like where the WrestleMania sign is, or in the corner. This time I actually kind of want to be...
You want to sit like in the hundreds, eh?
Looking like dead on. I think we've earned it. I think we've been to many events now.
Well,
I think it'd be really cool to see the cage actually close up. Last year, or sorry, this year technically, the Money in the Bank we went to was really cool. Because again, we weren't that far. We're pretty good space. We were in the 100s. But I think even if we did the 300s, but we did the middle, I think it'd be fine. I want to see the cage because we saw the cage from one angle. You know what I mean? It'd be cool to see.
Oh, so you want to see it from like kind of like the broadcast angle, like kind of. Yeah.
Either
okay,
side,
I see you. I see you.
Or even if it's just an angle a little bit, it'd be fine. But yeah.
It's so I had the privilege of being able to get like front row seats in Ottawa when I went down to watch the Monday Night Raw, and I will say that like Ram seats is a whole different vibe for sure. And I'm not saying that's what we should do for Elimination Chamber, because Lord knows like the seats in Ottawa were hella cheap in comparison to what they would be charging in Toronto. But it was definitely a really different and cool experience being like right up at the ramp for sure. But yeah, so Elimination Chamber Toronto bound. We will see in the coming months whether or not that is something that gets locked down. Next order of business in the sheets.
Oh, sorry. Before we go there, sorry.
Yes.
I'm also excited for Elimination Chamber if it happens in Toronto. Not only is the road to WrestleMania, it's John Cena's last retirement tour. He said he was going to be there, so this would probably be John Cena's last match in Toronto, and that's something I would actually pay to see because I've never seen him wrestle.
Really?
I think so. I don't think I've ever seen him wrestle. I seen him show up that one time when he said he was retiring here. But I think it'd be cool to see him wrestle, especially on a pay-per-view match. That's something for sure I've never seen.
You weren't with me that day. That was me and Compare.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, me and Compare got to see John Cena wrestle in a dark match after Monday Night Raw.
Oh yeah, no.
He did a dark match with Seth Rollins. That was really cool. That was pretty cool.
So this would be my first John Cena match, and if they're going to continue the Rock and Roman Reigns storyline going towards WrestleMania, I get to see the Rock in person, which I've never have before. So that is something. That's something I actually really, really would want to do. So
it's incredible, dude. I'll tell you that much.
If it's Toronto, I'm going, and we're going straight to the front of the line, bro.
That's fair.
Sorry, now you can continue.
All right, next order of business in the sheets. WWE has put out an ad for a new music producer, which means that the era of Def Rebel butchering theme songs could finally be coming to an end. And let me give Def Rebel their credit. There have been a few theme songs that they put out that have been pretty decent, but overall their run in WWE has been more or less controversial. I miss the days when we had like some really, really, really good. And this is the thing, like I've said before, like a wrestler's entrance music really sets the pace for how big and how over they will be. Right? There's a major difference between having DIY come out to their theme songs and getting crickets versus Cody Rhodes being able to use his theme song for the Independents and like people just going nuts. The theme song really makes it, and you need to be able to capture that in the music. And overall, Def Rebel did okay with some theme songs. Rhea Ripley's theme song is a flippin' bop. Solo Sokola's theme song is flippin' dope. I don't care what anyone says. Matt, I think, or no, Eric, I think you might be muted.
Oh, sorry. Yes. I was gonna say sorry. Rhea Ripley, though, her music's with a different guy as well, so it's still kind of an outside group too.
It's still an outside thing, but Def Rebel did like at least produce like did something with it. But yeah, so that'll be interesting to see when that and how that will change things for sure. But yeah, I expect the theme songs to change either positively or negatively going forward whenever they do get that down.
Okay. I'm excited.
Next in the sheets, WWE NXT sells out the ECW Arena for a taping. I think it's in November. They sold out the 2300 Arena in minutes. In minutes. Huge for NXT. NXT has been on a roll. I feel like the amount of hype that NXT that they've been getting lately has been somewhat reminiscent of Black and Gold. The superstars have been killing it. Their women's division is on fire right now. They have so much.
Let me tell you something about that women's division. Let me tell you something. Yeah, they're on fire, all right. Yeah, Shawn Michaels. That guy is a producer and a half. I can tell you that for a fact.
He knows how to pick him, but they have been doing a phenomenal job on the women's side. Their tag team division. Honestly, NXT's been doing really, really good. So the fact that they've been able to do something like this at this stage of the game is really, really cool. So shout out to NXT for being able to do that. In the sheets, there are potential future plans for one Bill Goldberg for a possible last run or last match with the company. There's a lot of speculation that Goldberg might be involved in Crown Jewel that could set up a potential match between him and Gunther, which we kind of saw with Bad Blood with their little confrontation there. So we kind of felt like something was going to happen at some point. When it was going to happen, we didn't know. Crown Jewel seems to be the perfect opportunity for them to really kind of like delve into that. So we will see if that is something that ends up happening. But in the sheets, Goldberg might be coming back to WWE for another match, so we will see.
Yeah, and that's probably expected.
Yeah. So it's a matter of like when at this point. Like it could happen at Crown Jewel, could happen later, but we are probably expecting Goldberg will probably be making an appearance at some point soon.
And you know what's funny? Because that's also another thing in the sheets where Goldberg is the one that's coming back, and Brock Lesnar apparently has no creative plans at the moment for him to return.
Yeah.
And you would expected a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago that Brock Lesnar would come back before Goldberg, because especially they mentioned him, but
yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, I think the Goldberg the Brock Lesnar match is I think a match that people want to see. I think, but obviously given the recent events that's been going on with WWE and with Brock Lesnar, we don't know what the plan is for him going forward. If you will see him again, when we will see him again. Goldberg versus Gunther could be a really cool dynamic for sure. But again, like I said before, this was something that when Goldberg had always mentioned I want that last match, nobody was really into it. Now, they kind of dabbled this carrot over our heads, and now we're like, oh, never mind, we might be into this. I'm still very skeptical. Like Goldberg could obviously still go, but I don't again.
Do we really want to see that though?
Again, I'm very much at a point now where we're in 2024. A lot of the guys from the last 20 years, I'm okay if I don't see them wrestle again, and it's not a knock on them or what their ability is. It's just that I'm so much more invested in the guys of today that I don't want to see a nostalgia act. That to me, I'll watch and be like, does this really make sense? This would make sense 20 years ago, but in 2024, do I really need to see this?
And that was 10 years ago too. I think 10, maybe a little bit more, where we saw this nostalgia acts and they were coming back. We're like, oh, this is great, because the wrestlers at the time were boring. Now the wrestlers of now are entertaining. They're over, as they would say. They're very mainstream. Look at Roman Reigns. He did an appearance. He showed up in a car playing Travis Scott's unreleased song. You know what I mean? It's very mainstream right now. Now a lot of people around the world, they claim Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Cody's song they play in every sporting events, and people do the theme song. People sing the song in the arenas. If it's football, if it's hockey, basketball, anything, they're like, whoa, they're all singing the song, bro. Everyone knows who these people are, right?
Yeah,
they're mainstream. They're over, right? So it just makes perfect sense, I guess.
So yeah, we will see. We'll see what happens with that. Next bit of news: Samantha Irvin has announced her departure from WWE. Lillian Garcia is back full time. And I had talked about this with you guys this week in regards to this whole situation, because to me it still feels a little bit fishy. Just because there was no to me there was no real prior thought or idea that Samantha was even leaving, and then all of a sudden she posts a Instagram post that she was done, and it was supposed to be her last night on Monday Night Raw as a full-time announcer, and she wasn't even there.
Yeah, it was just a abrupt quit.
It was very abrupt. As the week has gone on, there's been multiple reports in regards to how the whole thing went down. Samantha Irvin said that she had put in her notice months ago, and she said that she knew that she was leaving months ago. Apparently more or less because do other things. She wants to be able to spend time with her child. She wants to kind of embark on her music career and stuff like that. And the WWE schedule just wasn't allowing her to do that, which is understandable. Lillian Garcia faced the same situation back in the mid-2000s, but she left as a ring announcer. She wanted to embark on her music journey. She wanted to be able to do other things, and there just wasn't any leeway for her to be able to do that as a ring announcer. So she left WWE and did her thing. Extremely excited for Lillian Garcia to be back, as she is one of the GOATs of ring announcing. Extremely sad to see Samantha Irvin go, because she is also one of the GOATs of ring announcing. But apparently, from what I have read, there's no bad blood between WWE and Samantha Irvin. The window or the door is always open for her to make a return if she feels she wants to. Ricochet has also said that there's probably little to no chance that she's going to show up at AEW either. So, whatever she chooses to do from this point on will kind of be her own venture.
Mm-hmm. But as you mentioned it before, it was a little fishy.
It's still fishy to me.
Because like at the same time, like then why didn't they say like a goodbye to her on Monday Night Raw? Why didn't they do like a video promo or thank her for her time? They're like, here's Lillian Garcia, she's back. You know what I mean? It was very random.
Yeah.
And then she like posted it like quickly, like as a post. She's like, yeah, here I am quitting. Boom, that's it.
Yeah.
It just seemed like, especially like hours before what your shift's supposed to be.
Yeah, it just like again, like if you knew you were leaving that day, like I would have expected you to kind of say something like earlier.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it just feels something just feels fishy about it. But like, you know, I'm not in the business of speculating. Yes, I am. But you know, I guess it's one of those things where if there was something deeper, we'll probably hear about it at some point in the future. As it stands right now, though, Samantha Irvin is no longer with the company. Lillian Garcia is back, and you know we just gotta move forward, and this is what it is. No hate towards Ricochet, although I do hate him.
There's a lot of hate on that guy right now.
He didn't do anything wrong. Oh yeah, well his promo work is a whole separate issue. But you know.
All right, on to the next order of business, or should we do? You're done with the sheets and straight to the stuff.
No.
Oh, it's still more.
I got one more. This is non-WWE related, but something that we touched on months ago because I'm a huge Adam Cole fan. If you have not been,
that's where you want to go.
Yeah, I have to go here because like I'm a huge Adam Cole fan, and again, I follow him on Twitter. I watch his streams. And he hadn't been on Twitter, on Twitch, on Twitch for months. It was mentioned by Tyler Breeze and Cesaro on one of their Twitch streams that like he was going through a lot, and you know whatever he was ready to come back on, he'd come back on, or whatever kind of thing. And there was obviously a lot of speculation after Adam Cole had moved back to, what did he move back to? Yeah, I think he was in California, or he moved back to Pennsylvania, or whatever the case would be. I'm not sure, but he moved back to his own home. There was a lot of speculation in regards to him and Britt Baker splitting up for good. Nothing was talked about. Adam Cole never mentioned it. Britt Baker never mentioned it. There was just a lot of online speculation. Adam Cole has finally confirmed this week that him and Britt Baker are no longer together. It was an amicable split. They are still really, really good friends. They still care for each other deeply, but they have just gone in separate directions. But it has been confirmed Britt Baker and Adam Cole are no longer together, and that hurts. But Adam Cole's back on Twitch now, and he's streaming, and you know, that's great.
On that note, do you want to go to the dentist or what?
I might have to.
DFD. Seba, he made me chuckle a little bit while you were talking. He said, but Ricochet's Kobe with it.
Kobe with it.
Because that idiot said that on a promo. He's stupid. Anyways, yeah, those are huge news. On to the salt or what? Ready to give some opinions? All right, let's go. Sorry, it looked like for a second the video glitched, so I tried to move it to weekly recap and then back to grain of salt. Let's try one more time. Okay, we're at Derek's grain of salt. Take it away.
Oh my god, I'm talking so much tonight. All right. First things first. Much to the chagrin of the internet wrestling community, Jey Uso losing the Intercontinental Championship, I think, is a good move and was best for this Bloodline storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Very controversial, but let me run you through it. I had talked about before how I felt like Jey Uso's involvement was a little bit rushed, and I felt like They needed to be able to kind of find like a good way to be able to kind of get him involved in a storyline that made sense, that didn't feel like it was just like sort of thrown together and thrown out of nowhere. But then really actually analyzing how this whole thing has gone over the last little bit. Matthew Stafford with another touchdown. I'd love to see it. I believe that they actually did a good job of being able to put this together, and I think a lot of fans aren't really fully taking it in, but we'll delve into it a little bit. So when Jey Uso left the Bloodline, he left the Bloodline because he was tired of Roman shit. He was tired of not really being backed by Jimmy, because obviously Jimmy kind of turned on him to side with Roman. He went over to Raw, decided that he was going to be his own man. He was going to break away from the Bloodline. He was going to try to like make a name for himself on his own, just him, Uso. And he managed to do that. He won the Intercontinental Championship, something that he never thought that he would be able to do. He managed to do on his own. No family, no nothing. It was just him. But one thing that Jey Uso has also maintained, whether it had been kayfabe or non-kayfabe, was his loyalty to Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
So despite the fact that him and Jimmy have had their differences, like he's always mentioned and always talked about how he was proud of Jimmy and how he was happy that Jimmy was kind of doing his thing and kind of doing his thing on SmackDown. There was one interview that I remember in particular earlier on this year where I think Jackie Redmond had asked him about like how he feels about the whole Bloodline situation on SmackDown and how he feels about Jimmy, and like Jay kind of like said like, I told Jimmy to come with me. Like, I hate that he's going through this right now, but like, I gotta leave him do his own thing, and I gotta do mine, kind of thing. Left it at that, and then continue to eat off, kind of thing, right? And a number of non-kayfabe interviews, he always talks about how he's just super excited and happy that like him and Jimmy have been able to really build a career for themselves and be able to kind of separate themselves, but still be kind of like them, and how he's super happy for his family. Jay had an interaction with the Bloodline earlier on this year too, where he was kind of in the back and it was on a pay-per-view, and Solo and Tama Tonga and Tongaloa and Paul Heyman walked past him. Paul Heyman kind of gave him a look and they just walked away.
I forgot about that.
You remember that, right? You remember that. So like Jay saw it. It was kind of like, damn, but he couldn't really do much about it, kind of thing, right? Jay tried to stay away from Bloodline business for as long as he could. What brought him back in was when Jimmy went to go see him.
Mm-hmm.
And Jimmy goes to see him on Monday Night Raw and asks for his help. And although Jay brushed him off and said like he said no, he couldn't do it, and he walked away.
He showed up on SmackDown.
Jay showed up on SmackDown. Why? Because for the first time since their beef, Jimmy reached out to Jay and asked for his help, which Jimmy has not done at any point in time. But he asked for his help. But the first thing that he did after he asked for his help, even though he was upset, is that he showed up to SmackDown not to support Roman, but to try to dead the Bloodline business in his own way, because he wanted to try to do it on his own. And so he went to SmackDown and he talked to Solo to try to get Solo to kind of ease off on things because Jimmy asked for his help. He didn't want to get involved in any fighting. He just wanted to try to get Solo to calm down, just kind of like ease off on the whole thing. Solo didn't listen. What happened when Jay went backstage and he saw Jimmy and Roman? He saw them. He smiled at Jimmy because he was happy to see his brother, but that there's still that major animosity between him and Roman, because there's still a lot of like stuff that they haven't really been able to dead, that they haven't really talked about. Mm-hmm. So Joe, I guess his real name is Joe, but Roman Reigns tells him that he's proud of him, whatever. But like, obviously Jay still hasn't really gotten over it. At this point, he's kind of already sort of deaded his stuff with Jimmy, but like he still can't get over the whole stuff with Roman, because him and Roman have not really been able to connect on that aspect. And so he was like, nah, you said you needed my help, you didn't want me, I'm out of here. Mm-hmm. And he cut. So at that point,
shout out Rain Soul in the chat.
Shout out Rain Soul, thank you. Jey Uso said his piece, he did his thing, and he left. Jimmy and Roman proceeded to get beaten up. Jey Uso's not there because he said his piece. He said what he needed to do, and he cut.
Mm-hmm.
He would have been good, but then Solo showed up on Raw after Jay pulled in and tried to talk to him, and cost him that title.
You know, I've been thinking about that all week now.
situation.
Sorry, continue.
So now you have a situation where now Jay, his brother asked him for help, and now his younger brother just cost him the one thing that he's worked bare time to get. And now Jey Uso has his reason for now showing up and actually helping out Roman and Thing. And it wasn't a thing before, because if he just had his title and he kept on doing his thing, he would have been good. But he had his loyalty to Jimmy, and that was the reason why he showed up on SmackDown. And that's the reason why he's getting roped back into this now, because he has that loyalty to Jimmy now more than anything else in this world. So to me, right now, they did a good job of being able to kind of bring Jay back into it in a way that makes sense. I know people are mad that he lost the title, but the title had to be the last piece to really throw things in for Jay to be like, you know what, like, I got to deal with business.
Which we, again, said for the last couple of weeks, especially I said when he won it, I told Matt, I was like, no, he's gonna lose it, because it just makes sense for the Roman Reigns story with Solo later, right? They need to recruit him, and it happened. We all called it. Here we are. As you said, I feel like maybe it's a little bit rushed, because there's still the pay-per-view in between, but let's see how they build it. I don't know. Do you think that Jey Uso is going to appear tomorrow on SmackDown? Do you think he's going to attack Solo?
So.
Yeah?
I think so, yep.
Hopefully for the points, no. But, you know.
Well, if it's in regards to
the wheel
points,
today.
Then no.
But yeah, I do believe he's going to do retaliate immediately. But like at the same time, I'm hoping that they still kind of like string it along where, like, let's say Roman Reigns and Jimmy are trying to get the revenge this week against Solo. Jey Uso comes out, beats the hell out of all of them. And when Roman and Jimmy are about to like hug Jey denies them and walks away. I think that's how you prolong it until inevitably in the War Games cage. I hope that's when Roman and Jey make amends. But yeah, solid booking.
So we'll see. So I'm actually okay with it. That's my reason why. Why? My second great assault. Damian Priest.
Oh, Wepa, el campeón.
Wepa. So I had talked about this when Damian Priest did the face turn. What happens after he leaves Judgment Day and his whole thing with Finn Balor is seemingly finished? I feel like we're at a point now where Damian needs to be involved and needs to kind of set himself apart, but I haven't seen it. And we saw that little promo with him and Gunther where he was like, all right, cool, like, you know, once you're done with Cody, like, just know I'm coming after you. But, like, do we really care? Do we think that...
I was going to say the opposite, because when me and Seba were watching Raw, actually, he did the promo, and I thought the promo was pretty fire. And I was like, oh, this guy's grown up. Before, he would mess up his lines, we wouldn't care. But this time, he was pretty solid with his lines. I think he's just one of the victims to the 3-hour show being cut to 2 hours, because he was solid against Finn Balor. We expected that. And like I told you, I feel like that rivalry is not done. I think they're going to put Finn Balor back into it and make the mix. And it makes sense that the next challenger for the World Heavyweight Championship could be the former champion Damian Priest, right? And I think next week it will continue, because Dominic Mysterio is supposed to fight a former world champion. I think it's going to be Damian Priest. It's going to include him back into the rivalry with Judgment Day and all that stuff, whatever, right? I think he's also a victim to the Saudi Arabia curse, where they're trying to promote this champion versus champion for this imaginary freaking big gold green title that they're trying to defend. So they can't continue the story. So then what happened with Damian Priest? They had to put him, in the background. And that's where I agree with your point, where now that he's done with everything else technically and he's trying to go to the next thing, he's not showing anything, because I feel like he's a victim to both. The Raw being cut, and they had to do the Saudi Arabian pay-per-view to get it over with, right?
Yeah. And I would agree with that, and that's gonna delve into my next greatest hold afterwards. But I just for me, I would prefer to see Rhea Ripley has been prominently featured. She's been doing her thing. I kind of feel like Liv Morgan's kind of getting to the stale point. I need to see this finish off so Rhea could do some other stuff.
As stale as empanadas, alay?
Yeah, those up and down better be fresh for War Games at this point, because that's when you're seeing me. Uh, but yeah, I just feel like, and that's the thing. Like, I would agree with you. I think his promo work was excellent. I think he's definitely come a long way. But I just I want to see him featured more like on Raw as besides like it backstage. Like, I need to see him more, especially if you're gonna be trying to put him in the main event situation. Like, I need to see him. You know what I mean? So, we will see in the coming weeks what, like, again, if like the initial, I guess, hype for Damian Priest wears off, or people are still as big into him as he was when he left the Judgment Day. But yeah, we will see. Like, for me, like, and him versus Gunther, it'll be a cool match. I feel like there is too many other things on the horizon right now that makes me feel like he's gonna get kind of like lost in the sauce. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes for sure.
Is that where your next grain of salt is gonna lead? That Monday Night Raw?
The Monday Night Raw. So, and just in regards to like the shows instead of in general, I miss the 3-hour shows.
I know.
I will say it, because although I've been enjoying the 2-hour shows, like the 2-hour shows have been great. I feel like they felt like more concise. They felt more watchable. But again, like, the roster sizes are too big to contain within 2 hours.
And I think it's rushed.
And so
sometimes.
Yeah.
Look at the whole Seth Rollins stuff. Like, they don't have enough time to do promos. They just split it up, like random fighting.
Random fights, really quick to the point. And like, sometimes I want that. Like, I would compare it to like a seasonal anime release with like 12 episodes versus like a 280 episode anime like Dragon Ball Z, right? Like, sometimes you kind of want it to be, a little bit longer to kind of get like more stuff to kind of really feel those tangibles and stuff like that. So, I am very much looking to the 3-hour shows that are going to come in 2025, because I think we're going to be able to see a lot more people being featured. A lot of guys who you haven't really seen on TV as much because of the 2-hour time constraints, you'll probably be able to see. Maybe Baron Corbin will show back up on TV. That'll be really cool.
That'd be horrific.
I
thought they cut man's like AOP and that goddamn I don't even remember his name anymore. The guy with Scarlet, the TikTok carrying cross guy. I think they cut that trash off. But of course they need to keep jobbers to lose. Thank God freaking the Howdy Boys came in. But like, yeah, there's like 20 tag team matches. Again, they're trying to do the tournament. We wanted them to do both men's and women's. They are. But now, again, they stuffed it so much with 2-hour shows. It's hard. It's just hard. I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, I've been enjoying the 2-hour Raws, but like, again, like, once they go back to 3 hours, I feel like we'll be able to get a lot more of the people that, like, I feel deserve to get that TV time on, and be able to hopefully get them to a point where people will be able to be like, yeah, you know what? I mess with this guy. This will be really, really cool.
I tell you, I miss it. Sometimes like Monday Night Raw ends and we're like, that's it?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, we always expect more, and I guess maybe because we've had it for so long. But yeah, solid point.
What's next? Yeah, so that's my final 2 points. Just a little bit of an injury report. 2 people that I don't think I really mentioned before, but we have AJ Styles and Braun Strowman, who are on the shelf right now. AJ Styles is on the shelf for the next year with a Liz Frank injury. He fractured his foot with that spot that he did with Carmelo Hayes a couple of weeks ago. So we will not be seeing AJ Styles for the next year. And Braun Strowman tore his groin in his last man standing match with Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God I finally got it. So yeah, not really sure the timetable for his return, but just a couple of notable injuries that we have going on there. And that's about it. That's all I got.
All right, you know what time it is. It's fantasy time, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty. Because I should be going to bed soon. Technically, I should be going to bed now, but we good. We'll try to run it out here. So we're gonna do our. Where is it? Oh, it's because it's not even Google Chrome. It's the other one. Damn it. That makes more sense. Oh, I might have just closed it earlier. Our fantasy draft. Of course, Matt is not here for it, but he is the leader so far. He has 12 points. I have 7 points. Derek has 2 points. And the defending 2-times champ, but looks like Matt is taking a heavy lead on us. So hopefully we can turn this around soon. If not, he's taking it all. Bam, 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 bam. Again, the rules are as follows. If you guys see on the screen. Oh, sorry. I had the thing still on. There we go. We have 6 active spots. We solidified it last week. 2 main eventers, 1 women's, 1 tag team, 1 mid card, and 1 women's/mid card. The restriction is, which we'll have to note this week, 2 champions drafted per team, 2 tag teams maximum, and 4 main eventers. We count our pinfalls with this. Sorry, pinfalls. We count our points with this criteria weekly. And we tally everything like this. First place gets 3 points. Second place in the week gets 1 point. Third place gets 0 points, but they get a wild card. The only exception is on a pay-per-view week, which I believe would be next week's fantasy if it's next Saturday. The pay-per-view is next Saturday. If that's the case, then next week we will not be giving that. These are the wild cards that we have, and we'll spin it to the loser. But right now, we will be counting points. So, Derek, you can take us away.
All right, give me a second.
Okay. All right, I'll take it away then. So from October 16th to October 23rd, which is, I guess, last week Wednesday to this week Wednesday, I did count both me and Matthew's points. Oh, I just passed Eric's points, but okay. So Eric's Rumbling Ranas. I had Seth Rollins in the main event, and thank God, because Damian Priest wasn't heavily promoted this week. He just did a couple appearances, of course, with his fights in Bronson Reed, his promos, for a total of 16 points. Cody Rhodes only appeared once. That guy did nothing for me. 5 points. Randy would probably have done any better anyways. Dirty Dom, even though he was mentioned by Lillian Garcia, which I'll bring that point up right now. Lillian Garcia made a couple mistakes when she did do her thing. She came back, of course, abruptly as the ring announcer. But I feel like they gave her like the list to all like the stables that they have in WWE, and she was just naming the list of all the stablemen when they were coming out. But it was like, for example, let's say the Judgment Day. She named all the Judgment Days, like, oh, with Dominic Mysterio, but it was only Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. And then when was it New Day or was it after that? Oh, the LWO. She listed all the LWO members, but it was Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. You know?
Well, I already asked whether I already know where they lay their eggs, but.
Sorry, I'm getting messages right now. Sorry, what'd you say?
Okay. Sorry. It's going through the mic, that's why. I was like, what the heck's
yes.
that? Yeah, so I expected Dirty Dom to be out there, but ever since Raquel Rodriguez came out, Dom's being cut. So 8 points. Rhea Ripley, she did her thing with some headbutts and appearances, but only 9. Jimmy Uso, he didn't do as much as I expected him to be with 13. And Jade and Bianca are becoming like my anchor, because the only time they actually did good was last week. I could have won last week with the help of them, but Derek decided to nerf me instead of Matt. Thanks a lot, Derek. But every week they are my anchor, so I got a total of 57 points. My team did horrifically this week because I don't think EO would have got me anything, and all these guys suck. So I'm claiming a waiver, Piper and Chelsea, for Motor City Machine Guns, because I need a tag team now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. I did. Okay, we just go to Derek's. You guys already there?
Yeah, all right. So let's go through mine. So Gunther cut a promo on Monday Night Raw, got me 5 points. Kevin Owens cut a promo on SmackDown, got me 5 points. Braun Breaker won the Intercontinental Championship in the main event, also cut a promo. Hit a couple of spears, hit a sig, got the win. Ended up with 46 points.
It's really good.
Liv Morgan cut a promo, had an appearance at the beginning of the show. Had a tag team match with Raquel Rodriguez, and had a post-match encounter with Rhea Ripley where she hit her double knees. So she got me 20 points for the week. Carmelo had a little backstage encounter / promo with Andrade, where they announced that he was going to be facing him in the Best of 7 series next week. So you got me 5 points. And the New Day had a tag team match where they won. Kofi Kingston got the pinfall. And they had a little dilemma at the end of the match where they were trying to go help Truth, and they were like yelling at each other like, "Oh, we gotta go help him, we gotta go help him." So I just said kind of that as a promo because we usually do that. So altogether, they got me 42 points for the week, and in total, that got me 123 points.
Okay, that's solid. It's solid. I know Braun Breaker and Liv Morgan were heavily pushed. I mean, New Day as well. The Carmelo one, I know Matt was trying to like set him up with Andrade as well because they're supposed to have their match. They didn't, which was unfortunate.
Yeah, they got pushed.
Your main eventers also got held back bad.
Mm-hmm.
You could have ended up probably winning this week, but I counted Matt's points this week, and I think Matt killed it this week. So Finn Balor only appeared once. Roman Reigns did a lot this week for the first time in a long time. Was hitting all these Superman punches, doing so many promos, listening to Travis Scott, he went in. Jey Uso appeared both on Raw and SmackDown, so it was one of those rare events where they went off. He did have his championship match, ended up losing the match because Derek used his no multiplier, I guess, wild card. This is what his points became instead of multiplied. But Kelly Rodriguez did fantastic this week. She appeared so many times. Andrade, again, same situation as Derek. Didn't do much. And surprisingly, these two didn't do much either, but they did appear both on Raw and SmackDown for a total of 106 points. All because you updated it. Oh my God, congratulations, Derek. For the first time, Derek has, what was your trophy, Derek? You have won the week. Derek's done it, ladies and gentlemen. Ding, 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 ding. Derek got a bunch of bums the last couple weeks, a bunch of zeros. But Derek, he's finally done it. He's showing off the trophy. Plus 3 points. He's back in the race. 5 points altogether, catching up to me. I, unfortunately, became last, so I get nothing but a wild card. And then Matt gets plus 1 point for second place, so a total of 13 points. At least we held them down a little teeny tiny bit. But here we are, the score is becoming a little bit more even. Derek, very good. You done it, dude. You're back.
Finally.
We will select the next teams, but you know what time it is. It's time to spin the wheel. Forgot what it's called. Wheel of Fortune? Wheel of Names. Alrighty. So as always, we shuffle it. There's 3 of us, 3 shuffles. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Now that I am last place, I'll get to choose my wild card. Here we go. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Oh my God. I was gonna be excited for the boost multiplier, but apparently, ladies and gentlemen, for this week and this week only, I am allowed a 3rd champion on my team. And again, my I don't lose whoever I push away. It's just a momentary, like, let's say, loan. Yeah, so there's a couple things we have to do now because we have to decide the teams for next week. I think I already made the schedule for the week after. I'm just going to quickly make that schedule again before I use my wild card because we do have to rearrange our teams once again, guys. As I stated before in the rules, there's only 2 champions allowed per team, and because Derek now has an extra champion, he has to give up one of his champions. And now Matt doesn't have a champion. He also has to choose a champion. And I think it's perfect because Matthew owes me after I counted his points this week. So I think the person he was going to choose, I'm going to take, and he can have her next week. Or, yeah, no, I'll have her. He'll have it next week. All right. So that's October 23 to 80? 30, sorry? 80. I'm tired. So October 30th to November. So October 31st. November 1, November 6, right? Be 7 days. Till then, Derek, who are you taking off? Oh, I think he's already
Morgan.
fixing it.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Take it off, Liv Morgan.
So Gunther, Kevin Owens, Braun Breaker. Guess you could select your team. I will be using my wild card for this week. So my selection was to have Piper and Chelsea gone for the Motor City Machine Guns, but I'm going to add Bianca and Jade on the bench because they want to be trash for Motor City Machine Guns because they're going to actually fight for the number 1 contendership and they're going to win. Derek, what's your finishers?
Dude, the fuck if I know. I haven't watched those guys since I was like 10. They did their finishing move was, I think like Chris Sabin or Alex Shelley did like a splash from the top rope, and like Alex Shelley like did like a backbreaker thing. It was like a backbreaker splash thing. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna search it up, or we can just do it like they can do it live, and I'm like, okay, that's their finisher. So I'm just gonna say finish. Seth Rollins, I will actually be removing this week for Damian Priest because I believe he's going to be the secret champion that Dominic Mysterio has to face. He's gonna do a Spanish choke. His signature, I think it's going to be. I don't think it's gonna be the Razor's Edge. I think he's gonna do that stupid Wepa thing, that little slap stuff. He also does those little kicks, but I'll just do Razor's Edge for now. Or Falcon Arrow, maybe. I'll do Razor's Edge in case. Cody Rhodes is gonna stay. Jimmy Uso is gonna stay because I feel like he's gonna go off. Dirty Dom is gonna lose me the match, so I'm actually gonna remove Dirty Dom. I'm gonna put him here in CM Punk spot. So I'm gonna put that there. Dirty Dom Punk. So Damian Priest, Cody Rhodes, Dom is gone for this week only. Oh, it's mid card or women's. Okay, so I guess Jimmy Uso has to move over here. And thank you, Derek. I will take Liv Morgan. Good, because this is the week I don't want to be bum. Third champ wild card. Her moves are Oblivion. I think that's how you spell it. And then what's her other one? Just laughing weird?
Like the Codebreaker.
Oh yes, Codebreaker. Codebreaker. And yeah, I believe that will be my team. I have 1, 2, 3 champions because thanks to my wild card. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a solid week. I'm gonna keep Jimmy Uso. We're in. I don't know what Matt's gonna do, but I guess Matt can choose his weekly team afterwards. Derek, what did you change?
So I picked up Candice LeRae in exchange for Liv Morgan.
Okay.
Tiffy Time has been put in. And otherwise, like, my team's staying the same. Carmelo's staying in, Gunther staying in, Kevin in, Tiffy Time is in, and the New Day is in.
Okay. It's a solid squad. Because Carmelo's gonna have his match. New Day, I mean, they're gonna have their match too, right? For the number 1 contendership next week. TV Time, she was sick, so who knows? But maybe she'll come back this week stronger than ever. Braun Breaker is now your Intercontinental Champion, so they'll promote him. Kevin Owens, they probably have to promote him, and then Gunther will have his interview with Cody Rhodes this week on Friday, and of course Monday Night Raw, he has to be there. He's the Raw champion. Yeah, solid pickups. And then Matt has to remove this. There. He could probably pick up a champion. I think he says he's going to pick up What's her name? Nia Jax. I think that's what he said he was gonna do.
Okay.
And that's it. That's our fantasy. Congratulations to the winner, Derek.
Thank you.
And I guess that's it. I definitely need to go to bed for work.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
And I need to go to bed because I'm tired.
So, till then, everyone, it's been your boy Eric of EMFC.
And this is Derek of the EMFC.
And we'll catch you guys next time. I guess next week. Tomorrow is COD Day. I don't know if I'm going to stream or if Matt's going to stream, but we'll try to play and stream as much as possible. And we'll see when we play Mario Party next. I've been playing with my family, and it's been fun as hell.
Yeah, I need to get back on that.
Everyone in chat, if you listen to me, Mario Party has to be run again. It was a great time. We're going to have another good time. I'm your undefeated champion with... who did I win? What did I win with last time? Is it
I feel
Trick?
like I had you. Yeah, with Trick, Saturn, and myself.
That was a Trick Saturn. I think it was Saturn, right?
Oh yeah, you and Saturn won.
That's
Trick came in third, and
Yeah.
I came in last.
Okay. Well, till then, we'll see you guys all there. Appreciate it. Peace.